Executive overview, profitability, all, data visualization. In this video, Tableau Tim will show you how to edit the Vix alternative text to help improve the accessibility of your dashboards.
So what you just heard there was the voiceover on macOS narrating alt text that I'd added to this visualization. New in 23.2, you can actually edit the alt text for each visualization on the page. In this video, I'm going to show you how to do that. And I'm also going to show you how the voiceover works here on macOS. It's actually a new experience for me. I've never really spent time with the improved, updated version of voiceover that Tableau have sort of been adding to accessibility features. So I actually learned quite a few things about sort of what it's able to communicate to the user. And you have to remember that voiceover is a tool that helps people with all sorts of abilities, but specifically those who are visually impaired to navigate the screen. So to edit the alt text, first what you have to do is go and edit the visualization. I'll just go up here, select edit, and it will open up here in web edit. I'm doing this in the browser rather than Tableau desktop. I think it's just easier to do. And because the change is going to work in the browser, this is the best place to sort of test this. Now you can see that each chart is selectable as normal. It's sort of nothing new at all. In a previous video, I covered something new called the data guide. The data guide is this little tab arrow here at the right, top right hand side. And when you open it, you get a bunch of information. Now, what I did is I actually put that description you heard in the title as well as in the accessibility. But if you go here and you'll see this option here, this one right here that says edit alt text. When you click on that, you actually get a little pop-up and you're able to update this text. And you can see here, this is where I actually added the alt text. And that's what Tableau was reading. And so Tableau is able to do voiceover, not just on the title of the chart, but also this specific alt text. So what you can do is you can actually edit this to describe what the chart is actually communicating. But you have to bear in mind that obviously the chart isn't interactable. The alt text doesn't sort of change with variables as you interact with it. So although the chart might be interactable, these alt text will stay the same. Now, what is also really neat is that the alt text is sort of done for you if you don't do anything. So if I go to this chart here, I haven't edited this, and I go to edit the alt text, you'll see that there's actually already alt text there, and it just simply is communicating what the chart is, an error chart of month, of order date, sales. And this is metadata that's always been available inside of Tableau. In fact, if you go into a specific sheet, let's just go into this. I'm not sure if this will work in the browser, but if I hit Command E, it's not going to work here because I think the browser's sort of overtaking the shortcut. So let me try Option E. It's not going to work, but there's a shortcut on Windows and Mac, Command E, Control E on desktop, that allows you to pop up this information page. And this metadata is exactly the same as what's populating here. And so that's really, really nice to see. So it's a really good feature. And let me just show you how I enabled VoiceOver here on Mac. And Windows is going to be slightly different. I don't have a Windows machine with me to show you that. But to just sort of give you an idea of what the experience is like, on macOS, you just go to the accessibility settings and there's an option to select VoiceOver. Now, something you have to bear in mind is I have downloaded a specific audio file that allows the VoiceOver quality to be a little bit better than the default setup. I do this because Siri actually works better if you do this. And so if I go on and enable this.
Welcome to VoiceOver. VoiceOver speaks descriptions of items on the screen and can be used to control the computer using only your keyboard.
So that's the
If you
standard.
already know how to use VoiceOver, press the V key now. If you want to learn how to use
VoiceOver on system settings, VoiceOver window table accessibility selected has keyboard focus.
So
You
I
are
press,
currently on a table. To enter this table, press Control, Option Shift down arrow.
you can tell I'm an absolute noob at this. I pressed the V key because that voice you heard initially was the default sound, and then the male sound you had afterwards was the customized sound that I've downloaded. And so now if I, every time I hover over something, the VoiceOver is going to speak. So I'm going to talk as little as I possibly can. I'll show you how this works.
Arc, Edit Vertical Line Superstore window. Edit Vertical Line Superstore. Publish. Button. Success. Superstore has been published. Visited link. Go to Workbook. You are currently in a window. Superstore, Views Tableau Cloud. Web Content. You are currently on Web Content. To enter the web area, press Control. Work. Application. Group. Executive Overview, Profit. Data Visualization. Multi-polygon chart of longitude generate. Monthly sales by product category state/provinces. Filter region inclusive. Menu pop-up combo box application. More content available. You are currently on a menu pop-up combo box. Type text or to display a list of choices, press Ctrl, Option space, press Ctrl, Option Command / to bring up the More Content menu. New features. New features. New features. VoiceOver off.
And so I stopped it there because what it's essentially doing is talking through the entire screen, and there's a couple of things going on. I'm using a browser called Arc, and I think Arc's accessibility features aren't quite dialed in. So what it was sort of sending to the screen reader was information about the tab that I was on. Hence it was saying new features, new features, new features, because I actually do have another browser page saying new features. The other thing is you'll notice that I was navigating using the tab, and as I went to different sections of the viz, it was telling me what they were. When I stopped on that section, it gave me a bit more context as to what I could do with it, and I can essentially just use the keyboard to browse the whole experience. So the voiceover capability is actually it's actually quite advanced in my opinion. I don't know how to sort of compare this to other experiences, but it's more than what I was expecting is essentially what I'm trying to say. I didn't think the voiceover and the accessibility sort of pairing would cover as much as it does. And I think part of that is obviously the operating system doing a lot of the heavy lifting, doing some screen reading, probably on device. But then the other half of that is the browser and Tableau building this application to serve up that information. Now, what was interesting is here I'm in the viz, and if I just go back out of this now, we know of alt text typically in the context of images. And so what I did do is I did try and see, well, hey, does Tableau serve these as images to the browser? And so I've downloaded a couple of alt text checkers, and you'll see that if I just bring them into view, and let's just enable this one, for example, you can see that it highlights all the alt text images, but it doesn't highlight the charts. So Tableau is not serving these charts as images, so the alt text sort of Finder can find it, but these other images are actually there. If I do try and select some of these, you can see here there is a description of an SVG here, and I think it's just a little bit sort of hard to really narrow down what exactly this is. I'm not sure if this is the actual visualization or if it's something else. I think it could be just a graphical icon in the background or something. But in essence, I tried a couple of alt text readers. If I go to this next one here, let's just this browser is really buggy. I have to keep it's kind of like Chrome, but it's not. This specific alt text fire is not firing when I'm screen recording. I think this is what the issue I had before, and I couldn't get it to work. Then it worked, and I wasn't recording at that time, so I think that must be it. But in essence, it's not serving up images, it's serving up information to screen readers, and I think this is a really nice feature set. I need to do way more on accessibility and how Tableau works with accessibility. You can see I was an absolute noob. I didn't know what to expect, and I was probably quite impatient because I'm obviously reading the screen visually rather than waiting to hear the prompts as I should be if I was using the voiceover as intended. But nonetheless, I think this is a great step forward, and there's going to be lots more that I'll hopefully do in the near future covering accessibility. I'll hopefully get someone on board to kind of show me the ropes, show me how it works, and share that experience with you. And maybe what we'll do is we'll do an entire dashboard browsing experience, simulating voiceover in its entirety. So going to the dashboard, going to online.tableau.com, logging into Tableau Cloud, going all the way through, finding the viz we want and using that. So I think that's a pretty important thing to try to be able to really talk about the accessibility features that Tableau have implemented in the last few years. Apparently, Fantastical has terminated unexpectedly. Maybe it just got too excited about the features, but that's pretty much it for this video. I'll catch you in the next one.